June, offensive rebounding and then steals
Yeah.
seem to be the glaring on the stat sheet.
Yeah, that's and that's pretty much how we won at Wyoming too. In the overtime over there. And I know we forced 20 there, and I don't know how many we forced. I haven't really looked at the stat sheet, to be honest with you. But this group takes great, enormous pride in their defense, and it's not just one. It's collective. It's all of them, and they believe that they can get stops down the stretch, and they were able to do that again tonight, and also that's great. And then the O boards, that's something that we led the Pac-12 all year in offensive rebounding. I'm not sure how sometimes, but it's the defensive board sometimes that ends up keeping me up at night. But we've continued to excel in that area, and between the steals and, like you said, the O boards, it was both of those were huge to capitalize for the win.
You guys did a tremendous job shutting down Morgan Birch, who came in as UC Davis's leading scorer, holding her to just 6 points when she averages nearly 16. What was the game plan there just to keep her off the boards and keep her from scoring?
Well, first of all, very good player, and she definitely had our attention coming in. With the Princeton offense, they run everything through her, and because she's so good and very, very skilled player. Maria, had the start on her, and I thought, again, the 3 days that we had to prepare, Maria really took it serious that she was going to have to find a way to either deny her the basketball up top or in the low block, or force her out higher so that we could, elongate those passing lanes so that we could get some steals. And I thought, that Maria started out, did a great job on her, and then, Nike, Eva. I don't know if Kayla Washington got on her very much. She might have on a switch or two, but that was, that was big for us. And that's a credit to Maria, to really take it personal, that she obviously had a lot of respect for her and just said, I've got to do whatever I can to help this team. And knowing that was so pivotal to not let them run the offense through her. The other thing was she was in foul trouble, and she sat quite a bit, which didn't bother me. It was good. Yeah.
June, you mentioned weather and storm after storm.
Yeah.
Whether it was injuries or just losing streaks during the season. How is it that you guys are still playing in late March?
Is what?
How is it that you guys still here?
It's exciting. It's so exciting, and there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, we're playing for a championship. There's 16 teams left in women's basketball, period, out of 340 Division I women's basketball teams. So that's exciting too. Getting this program to Elite Eight just speaks volumes about these kids and what kind of champions they really are. Long term for us, I think in Pac-12, I think we played on the 4th or something like that. It seems ages ago. But it's almost been an extra, almost 25, 30 days of practice and games and competition, which it just, and you guys see it. I mean, you guys, especially you guys that covers for a long time, you see how much better they're getting, and so this bodes well for the Elite Eight, and hopefully we can continue on with that and for the future.
Coach, in the second half tonight, when they started making a couple of runs at your lead, it seemed that you guys always got a bucket right when you needed it to.
Yeah.
What does that tell you most about your team?
I think Penelope had a big one. Sweet definitely had a big one. Eva came up with a big one. We hit some big free throws too. And I'm sure I'm missing somebody right now, but it just shows the moxie that these guys have. They didn't have much swag. They really didn't after, especially Melina's injury. And I thought that Nike McFlurry really continued to improve a lot and block shots and just bring some swag back and say, you know what, guys? You know what? Maybe we're not going to score like everybody wants us to score and all that, but just maybe if we just keep playing hard and maybe have a little fun with this, who knows what'll happen? And then that swag came back a little bit, and that's important down the stretch. It was important tonight, and it was obviously very important on the 2 road games.
Do you think that speaks to the recruiting of the program at all, the mentality that these players have deep down? Because I think it'd be easy for a lot of teams to have a lot of their role players have to take over these starting positions.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I appreciate you, asking it. Ashley Gill's done a great job recruiting coordinator in this program, as well as the rest of the staff. But it's not just the character. I mean, that's huge, right? The character, and we talk about that all the time, recruiting. Hey, she's got a nice, step back. She rebounds well. She's so athletic. But who is she? Who is she really, when coaches aren't around, and character is really important. So not only are they high character kids, but I think they're showing everybody they're pretty talented kids too. They're just, they got thrown into the frying pan, so to speak, and wasn't easy for a while. And we went on that stretch. I think 7 straight losses or something. They just kept digging. And I think it's really fun for them to say, you know what, we're sorry that our teammates got hurt, but you know what, we're not too bad either, and good for them.
Coach, in the second half, Rachel Nagel, number 4 for UC Davis, had all 20 of the points in the second half. It seemed like she couldn't miss. What were the adjustments that you tried to make?
Well, I'm not sure we did adjust. I mean, it was Steph Curry out there, Klay Thompson. Geez Louise, she's a heck of a shooter. Stuff, but we, on the timeouts, all the dead balls, we were trying to, we called our center fielder and stuff out to help off the rotations on the skips. Is you got to be a step closer to her. She's long distance. You've got to make up for that distance. So, that was probably the biggest thing that we were talking about with them, and just reminded her. I think sometimes when you're on the floor, you don't always realize who's just killing you out there, and so we were trying to remind the floor's killing you. Come on now, and stuff. But just making them more aware and then getting a step closer to them, I think was really important, and reminding them that she's deep. She's got a deep ball.
When they went to 3 from 3 to start, what were the adjustments to then slow them down? I think they only hit one more 3-pointer the rest of that first half.
Yeah, those both were, for us, you watch film, you go through it, you show them, but sometimes you gotta get burnt a couple times and say, oh man, these guys are all really good shooters, and they're way out there. I mean, they're step off that line, a good step off that line, and I think that on the timeout, I remember the first timeout, Kayla Haley was just ripping her teammates and saying, do you not remember the scout? Do you remember what we're going to do here? And I thought that we had some laziness, in fact, that our hands were down, and so that was a big reminder too. And that's some of the leadership that all of our kids, but in particular our tri-captains and Kayla was all about. I mean, Kayla's second team all-conference in defense for 2 years in a row, and she takes great pride in that, and she wants her teammates to do the same. So love the fact that she was leading that way.
Jim, considering what happened last time, they hosted a postseason game here a couple years ago against Easter, and just the history of this program in the postseason, it's sweeter to get one at home finally.
Well, yeah, and it's so important, I think, for just this team that's still down there signing autographs right now, to feel that, everybody's been following you. Everybody knows. The media has told the story over and over again. You're Cinderella, your Cinderella's just gotten bashed around so many times, and you keep coming back. And for the love that was showed to them tonight, it was phenomenal. I mean, you could feel it in the building. And, it's our last home game. We can't play at home, anymore in the WNIT and stuff. And it's just so neat to see the fans come out and salute these kids, and meant a lot to everybody, and in particular it really meant a lot to Eva. Eva's the only senior in the program, and she's done so much for it, and she's it's not the year that she thought she was going to have as a senior in her last chance, with everything that's happened. But now it's like I'm not so sure she wouldn't trade it. What's going on.
We were in this room a month ago, and we were kind of bewildered, I think, all of us in the room, about the offense. It seemed like they were getting open looks, and there were no shots. This is the $1 million question.
Yeah.
It's arrived, 25-point first quarter, and everything kind of went from there.
Yeah.
Would you attribute anything to this change, where all of a sudden shots are falling, people are getting open, screens are crisp, everything's there? Yeah,
that's credit to Mike. He is the offensive coordinator, and he's had to change the offense now 5 times, and that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that is truly a lot. And and then you have to make adjustments and keep tweaking it. Okay, who's the Swedes starting to really get better at certain things. Nike's starting to do this. Joe's starting to do that. So we're trying to play their strengths as much as we can, and they've rallied around that. And I think the other thing is they've gained a lot of confidence, like we were talking about earlier, defensively. Defensively they know they can score. They can turn people over with steals and stops, and get down on the floor and get something maybe a little easier, out of transition. And it's helped. But it's just, you can see that each player is getting more and more confident, as the season continues to go on.
I know you haven't seen probably anything on Iowa yet, just a quick scout of them.
Yeah, I watched them a little bit in the locker room before the game, because they played what, 2 hours before us. Big Ten team, obviously, they're big kids. They are very physical, and hopefully that won't bother us. I mean, I thought we were pretty physical tonight and stuff. They shoot the ball very, very well. They've got a good inside attack. I watched some, just like I said briefly before the game, they mix up their defenses. I've seen them off tape run. They ran some 2-3 tonight, which was interesting against Colorado. But I've seen them run that and some 1-3-1 and stuff. So we're going to have to be way better against the zone if we see that, in Iowa. Lisa does a great job coaching that team, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm a Big Ten gal, so it'll be fun, I think, to go back to another Big Ten school and play against them.